I mentioned on this Winchester 94 that belongs to my brother that the sight ramp was missing. Well, I've been playing around with it, and I've been using a matchstick, a sliver of a matchstick to adjust it. And there's precedent for this because it happens quite often with these old Winchesters. You lose that ramp. But I was thinking, a lot of times when I'm looking at guns in gun shops, most of the shops around here, you're able to walk over, pick up the gun, and handle it. They aren't behind a counter or anything. Yeah, especially in the used guns. Well, I noticed that at least 25%, maybe closer to 50% of the Winchesters are always missing their sight ramp or elevator. And I don't know if it's that people are taking them out of the gun shop, because it'd be very easy to walk up and pop that elevator out of there. Or if it's that they come in that way, though I don't know why in the world, if you're dealing in used guns, you keep some of them on hand. But I finally got the right one. That part of the problem is with these elevators for Winchesters, they changed them. There's quite a variation in them. Like this is a C3. I think that fits in these post 64s. It's the C1 that fits in the older ones, like my 351 Winchester. That's exactly the same thing. I usually keep a few of these on hand, but I didn't have the one for this. Otherwise, like I say, I run into so many guns that are missing them. I like to keep a variety on hand. Now, there's a lot of guns that use these plain simple ones, and they're usually like about $5. You get up to 15 to 20 for these, but they're not that hard to find. Nobody carries them locally, of course, but you can get them from Numerich or just many different places because they commonly get lost. These not so much. These older ones kind of stay in there better, but these, the way they go in there, is not that solid. So it's easy enough to hit that sight and it'll tumble right out of there. These lock in a little bit better. My first thing I normally do if I get a gun that doesn't have the elevator or anything, I'll usually put a marble sight on because those are the ones I like anyway. It's my preferred sight. But this isn't my gun, so I'm going to try to keep it the way it was originally, ratty as it is. But like I say, this matchstick, not exactly the best for a sight adjustment. But if you're messing elevators, they aren't that hard to find. And like I say, not horribly expensive. So I don't know if people are taking them out of used guns or what the deal is, but I see so many of them that are missing that elevator. But I think part of it on these Winchesters, there isn't much spring there. They aren't very strong, so it doesn't take much to bump them up. On these marbles ones, they're a pretty tight fit. A lot of times I'll have to take the screwdriver blade of my jackknife to pop that up a little bit to move it, the adjuster. These, like I say, they're not a bad sight, but they're not my favorite. So usually if I have to change something, I'm going to marbles. But like I say, this is not my gun, so I got the original. So I can go out and shoot with it. But who's ever taken them out of guns, if that's what's happening, quit doing that.